Hello, namaste. Hi, everyone. Well, I thought it was time to do a video. Last night they had a series on Lisa Ling and about quote unquote Tantra. And this is something I've spoken about before. What they are teaching is not Tantra. They're teaching some glorified sex practices, but it has nothing to do with Tantra, as evidenced by the person that was leading this what's her name? Gotta look her name up here again real quick. Psalm Isadora or something like that. Psalm Isadora. Very well noted in the tantric community, quote unquote tantric community. And what can I say? Sex sells. But again, these glorified sex things that they're selling under the heading of Tantra has nothing to do with genuine Tantra. Okay. And as you can see, she was talking in her thing about gaining control, and you open yourself and everything becomes sexual, and bring sexuality into your life, and you're open and you're free and you're a goddess, this and that. She was taking alcohol, taking drugs, committed suicide. How happy was she? How much control, and that's what it's all about. They want control, and women that get involved in this want to be worshipped, want to be put on a pedestal. And the men, a lot of the men that are doing this tantric thing, have no respect for the women. They just want cheap sex. Okay, they found a way to get a lot of sex. It is not benefiting humanity. It is not going to bring you to a sense of peace. It is not going to bring you to a sense of balance. It is not going to heal your sexual trauma. None of the things that they are claiming that this is going to do is going to take place. Okay? Again, as evidenced by somebody that says they went to India and they studied this for years, and they were so, one of the really well-known people in that community teaching these sexual types of paths. Wow, I can just go out and have indiscriminate sex and say I'm spiritual. Isn't that fabulous? Well, I'm sorry. But again, this is a misnomer. Just like I say, Kundalini yoga is a misnomer. It has nothing to do with a genuine Kundalini path. Just as these types of tantric teachers have nothing to do with genuine Tantra. Genuine Tantra is not taught in that type of a setting. Okay? It's very quietly taught between a guru and a disciple as to the mysteries of the universe. Okay? But it has nothing to do with this sexual BS that they're passing off under the heading of Tantra. Okay. Tantra has to do a lot with, if you go to Khajuraho and you understand the way the buildings are built, you understand how they're conjoined, you understand the mathematics behind it, etc., etc. There's a lot of things that go into it. None of those have to do with sex. Okay? And what is behind all of these things, again, You know, sex is such a minimal part of anything. Just like this misnomer that the Shiva Linga has to do with a penis. It has to do with procreation in some sense. But nobody's there to worship penises or vaginas. Okay? It has to do with the cosmology of creation. Okay? And the energy that goes in Shakti, the energy that energizes all of creation. Why to bring it down to such a limited thing as to sex? Okay? Men have found some way to use sex to enslave and enslave and enslave. People here are under this false notion because they talk of the Devi in India that they put women on a pedestal. 100% not true. And those that are doing these kind of practices, even the monks, very high monks, which are not spoken of, will use and abuse these women for their own self-gratification. Okay? This has been so tarnished, so misunderstood, so misrepresented that people have no idea of what the genuine understanding of Tantra is. Tantra is using everything to progress. It's not about sex. It's to do with everything there is in the world to progress. Okay, to understand what is that Shakti, what is this energy that moves throughout creation, and to go through that, beyond that, to that bindu, that sacred point, that bindu, that sacred point in the sacred geometry. Okay, has nothing to do with that movement that flows out of it. It is still. Okay, you enter into that bindu, into that stillness. It's beyond this movement of Shakti into the seen world. It is that which is beyond the seen realm. It is the vast potentiality of everything that can come into the seen world. It runs like a thread through all of it, but is untouched by any of it. There is so much more to genuine Tantra, and people are on this very fringe that has been so misconstrued. And they've taken something that is such a small part of life and made it into the sole focus as to what you run your energy around and what you claim to put in your divineness. And it's nonsense. Okay? I'm sorry, it's nonsense. And I see a lot of use and abuse of this when I lived in India. Okay? I have seen a lot of these fake gurus, quote-unquote gurus, that use it as a way to have sex with these women. Okay? And it's all nonsense. It's all crap. It doesn't point to any of the mysteries, any of those things that go beyond sex. Okay? It's not about having better orgasms. It's not about, oh, I'm going to feel in my heart more loving towards the planet. Okay. Real Tantra is very, very, very deep. Again, nothing to do with the nonsense that they're peddling out there. But again, sex sells. That's all I can say. Always has, always will. They will always find a way to make money from sex. Okay. Always find a way to enslave people under that heading and keep them wound up in that type of a dynamic. Okay. You don't have to have sex to feel the energy of Shakti. Okay? It enlivens all of life. Okay? If you think it has to do with the genitals, you are sadly mistaken. Okay? So again, I just want to put this out there. Please, 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 please do not get caught up in this nonsense being peddled as Tantra. Okay? Because as you can see, you can look it up for yourself. This woman, Salma Isidora, committed suicide. And yet she's supposed to be one of these very high gurus, practitioners, experts, masters of Tantra. She was a very unhappy person in her life. Okay? A person that is within themselves, that is balanced, doesn't need to be doing drugs, won't be taking Xanax, won't be sitting there having alcohol, will not be having to have all these men come and tell them how wonderful they are, to be secure within themselves. Okay. Find out what's beyond the body. You are something much more than what is this body. When you're focused on sex, what are you focused on? The body, the transient, that which is going to pass away, that is which is ever in change, ever degrading. You come into this world and the body's starting to age at that point. It's only here for so long. Okay? Find out what is prior to the body, what stays when form goes. Find out that. And you're not going to find any of that out having this tantric, quote unquote, tantric sex. Okay. This is not to say that there's something wrong with having sex and having relationship. I'm not saying that at all. Okay. And there is a way to honor your partner. You should honor your partner. It should be something sacred and beautiful in your life if you are in a relationship, okay? But please, it is not the end all. It is not the be all. It is definitely, there is something so much more to life. And if that is your focus, that you're running around caught up by your genitalia, if that's what you've become, your genitalia, well, then I don't know what to tell you. This is very sad. I'm sorry. Nobody should be defined by their genitalia. Okay? Don't put me on a pedestal because of my genitalia. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay, let's find out what moves the universe. That energy which moves the universe. That which is prior to that energy. Okay? That bindu, that still point. Find that. You're staying on the fringes. Okay? The object of genuine Tantra is to come to that still point, that bindu, that central point, and then understand how it expands from there. Not to stay in the fringes. Okay? Not to be caught up in the externalized drama. There is a still point that runs through all of it. When you can access that, when the mind stills, when you are in that spot of bindu, that prior to creation, then you understand how creation takes place. Okay? But you have to go backwards to that still point, to that bindu, to that still. And then you understand how these things fit together. Then you understand the cosmology, how these things work together. Okay? But don't stay caught on the fringe, caught up in this drama, which is going to really lead you nowhere. It's not going to heal your sexual trauma. It's not going to make you into a goddess and a devi. Okay? Okay? You may find you have great orgasms, and maybe you can become closer as a couple, okay? In some way. But there's something much, 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 much deeper than that. So please, please, please beware of these courses and these things being taught as Tantra. They are not, by any stretch of the imagination, genuine Tantra. Okay. Namaste. Be well, everyone.